Good morning, sunshines. I am just waking up. Let's get ready for our Eric Raiders riding with Raider this morning. It's a sunshiny Sunday morning. Sun's not even up really. What do we have? Let me see. Is anybody online this morning? Oh, let me see. What's this?
Hey, that's not yours.
That's not yours.
That's not yours. What's wrong with you?
Go with your senior suitcase and get out of here. You get your PRs in for that.
No, you can leave it there. You can leave it there. No, you can leave it there.
I'll take it.
Hey, that's not yours.
That's not yours.
That's not yours. What's wrong with you?
Go with your senior suitcase and get out of here. You get your PRs in for that.
No, you can leave it there. You can leave it there. No, you can leave it there.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I was watching
Oh, hi, how are you going?
Good.
Yeah, we're documenting.
What are you documenting?
We're documenting Scientology practices and the cover-up of abuse of children.
Cover up abusive children?
Yeah, yeah.
Church of Scientology?
Yeah.
Who do you represent?
Myself, yeah.
Okay, and...
Yeah, I was born and raised in Scientology.
Oh, yeah, what's your name?
My name's Miriam Francis. My parents are Carrie Elliott or Carrie Francis, Chris Francis. They were originally from Adelaide, and they went to the US with Scientology, so I grew up in Los Angeles. My mother works at the international base in Hemet for Golden Era Productions. She does all the graphic design for all the book covers, lecture covers, for events, for promotional material. She's been doing that for... I did, yeah. Have you been in Scientology for a while? Yeah. How many years?
50.
Always in Melbourne with Scientology?
All over the world.
All over the world? Yeah. Okay. Did you go to Los Angeles?
Yes.
Yeah. What buildings did you go to or study at?
CC Int,
Yeah.
AOLA.
Yeah.
I didn't go to the Int to Gold. I wasn't up that far, but...
Did you work for the church?
Yes, I did.
In the Sea Org?
Yes, I did.
What roles did you have?
I'm a Class 9 auditor.
All right. Well, were you always an auditor?
Sure.
Okay. Did you spend much time auditing children?
Not a lot.
Okay. Mostly auditing
Are
adults?
you recording this?
I am recording it. Do you want me to... Oh, excuse me.
I don't want you to record me.
Okay, but you don't need to touch my phone. That's not okay. Excuse me, you just got violent.
What's your name?
Miriam Francis. Yeah, okay. I documented that.
What a jerk. What a jerk. Oh my gosh. I'm glad Miriam caught that on him. Yeah, the police response. What did they say? I didn't see. Let me turn this off. What did I saw the police came finally. What did they say? What did they do? Twyla. I got my coffee to wake me up. Yay. Oh, jeez. That's ridiculous. If it were the other way around, she would have went to jail. We both know that. Did you see that Magic Castle video that Henry and Chi and yeah, they know where he is. Morning, Cajun Juju. I got the sniffles this morning. I think my allergies are going nuts because I haven't been around anybody to get a cold. Oh, I've got a runny nose and the sniffles. Yeah, did you guys see the Magic Castle video of them coming out and harassing? Uh-oh, Molly Moon, good morning. Good evening, good afternoon. Kathy Shoggins, good morning. Yeah, there's no equal justice. And it's not just the USA that does it, it's just proof. Yeah, it's crazy. But have any of you seen those old, there was an old video, I was trying to find it the other day, of, it was old, is it Angry Gay Pope? Mm, it had the, I'm looking for it, you guys. It was like 16 years ago. Ooh, what's this?
And the video that you edited was the one that Mr. Choquette gave to the prosecutors, isn't it?
I made sure that I had the unedited one, and I believe that you'd have to ask him what he did to the prosecutor.
When did you give him the original video back?
I'm not sure what you mean. Give
Well, when did he give you the unedited video of the period of his arrest?
Oh, I'm not sure, but it was must have been a couple of days. I need to see the upload date for some of those videos, but it couldn't have been more than I think a week or two after the event. But I'm not certain.
Well, I printed off a directory of all the videos that were on there. If you would like to look at that, maybe you can point out the video that you're referring to. They're in alphabetical order.
Okay.
So if you could tell me where the original video was that Mr. Choquette gave to you.
No, I don't want to know about this Pope. This is not the Pope. No, not that Pope. Let's just try angry. It was, Angry Protest. I'll know it, I see it. I'll look at my... Good morning, Indigo. Tyler, I don't know why Angry Gay Pope... I haven't really looked at too much of what he has done. I'm not too sure. Maybe because maybe they're trying to steal the glory of what they used to do. I don't know. It was a... There's Tori. Maybe it did say counter protest. Yeah, I don't even care to watch you. Oh well. Well, I'll find it later and we'll look at it later. Okay, AGT Angry Gay Pope did a sit-down interview with David Mismanaged. I might want to rewatch that one. Do you have a link for that? Maybe it was on, no, it wasn't Kelly. She did have one. Oh well. So, David Mismanaged. Let's go back to his lives. Where has he been? He hasn't even been there for a while. Here's the Angry Gay Pope interview.
A dream just came true. I interviewed the Angry Gay Pope. You can see a couple minutes of my conversation with him on a little short live stream I just did, and more will be on the way. Enjoy.
Well, that doesn't tell me much. Oh, that's not what I want.
A dream just came.
I'm looking.
Living in Hollywood, it's normal if there's a little bit of an interest in meeting some stars. And when you are an anti-Scientology protester and somebody who's followed this movement for as long as I have, some of the biggest stars you could potentially meet are the stars of the anti-Scientology protests. And getting to meet those people is a pinch yourself kind of moment for people who've been geeking out on this anti-Scientology world for as long as me. And there is no more thrilling star of the anti-Scientology movement that I could have possibly met than the Angry Gay Pope. So I'm going to present a little interview that I did with him today, but also I want you to see a little bit of the highlights, a few little clips of the Angry Gay Pope's work going back in history before we speak with them. So here we go, the Angry Gay Pope in action with Odo.
So is this like how you enjoy spending your afternoons chasing and harassing people? Oops, excuse me. Is this how you enjoy spending your afternoons chasing and harassing people? You gonna follow me and try and get my license plate number? Because you tried that already and it didn't work. That's why I'm the Angry Gay Pope and you're just a member of an evil cult. Oh.
Your PC folders are not confidential.
I'm trying to show them how to improve it.
You understand how? You don't understand the dynamics? You know what those are?
Explain.
Okay, the dynamic.
Hello, Odo. After your usual tricks of sitting on a bicycle, that's like an 8-year-old's job. Maybe you could deliver newspapers while you're on the bike. The LRH Times. So, are you happy in the Sea Org, Odo? Does anybody ever ask you if you're happy or not? Isn't that why you all got into Scientology? To help make the world happier? A better place? Clarity. Is it turning out to make you as happy as you thought?
What's so special about today?
It's Stat Day.
There's that day.
The police on me again, Odo. Are you going to call the police on me again? Because it didn't work last time, did it? Oh no, oh no. Hello, Odo.
What's happening?
Anonymous is here to watch Scientology disappear into nothing. All the orgs are dead like this. But you can lie in Portland, and they don't know that the world headquarters of American Scientology is like dead just as well. We didn't talking about your empty org.
Do you know what date is?
Hi, Odo! You Scientology scum! Did you like that one? They can't hurt you. Hello, Odo. Oh, did they give you a crash helmet, Odo? You look like such a big boy Scientologist now. You look such like a big boy Scientologist now with your helmet. Oh,
So nice.
yes. Hi, where are you on the bridge?
I'm taking the communication
Oh,
course.
that's great. People tell me that's a really good course.
I just
Isn't it,
started
Odo? Oh, really? That's wonderful. Is the org very crowded? Mm-hmm. It is?
I think so.
Oh, good. That's great. Come back, handsome. Oh, it's Odo. You followed me, Odo, you naughty, naughty boy. Getting some pictures for Tony Ortega's blog, you know. You're in like a caged animal, Odo. You'll never get out.
Okay, let's pause it just for a second. Right before the interview here. I'll ask David. Ooh, sorry about that. Sorry. Oop, we don't want Chrome. We just want this one. I'll make sure it's okay that we're streaming so that way we don't get tagged. I hate those stupid copyright strikes, but yeah, I'm kind of wondering where David has been. I know him and Eric have done things in the past, and they're pretty friendly. Okay.
The RPF is wrong. You're being mistreated. You should try and flee. There are ways you can escape through an underground railroad of people who've left the scene.
Okay. We have a special guest today, Angry Gay Pope.
Hello.
So,
In West Hollywood?
In West Hollywood, yes. So, what's the name of this park?
West Hollywood.
Who knows? Yeah. So, anyway, yeah, it was like, what were we talking about? Well, we were talking about.
Some questions.
Yeah, I do have some questions. Number one, what do you think of this new wave of protesting compared to like your heyday or whatever?
That was 2008 through 10 that Anonymous was very active.
Right. And so the anonymous wave was like one wave of protest, and this is another.
Mm-hmm.
What do you see as the major difference?
Well, Anonymous came from sort of a top-down thing where all over the globe people organized on the internet, and they would start protesting in Australia. And then by the time it came to LA, we had already seen some of the Australian protests uploaded onto YouTube.
Right.
This is more of a bottom-up thing where locally people decided to combine Scientology protesting and live streaming.
Right, exactly. Okay. And in terms of like how Scientology reacts, overreacts, yeah. What's different now than, because earlier when we were talking, you were saying it's like more dangerous or more violent now or something like that. And that was interesting to me because, you know, from my perspective, when I look at the old videos, I see all these Scientologists getting up in protesters' faces, getting very confrontational, and now they run away and hide in the buildings for the most part.
Back then they had handlers and Scientologists who would come out and be confrontational, but now there's fewer of them, and there are fewer long-term Scientologists who are like willing to do that, and they don't want them unbrainwashed, so they are hiring a lot more thugs now. They've always been doing exactly the same thing they're doing now, except now they're extremely upset. Extremely upset.
So tell me about that upset the way you see it compared to before.
Anonymous would be a global protest, and they would all just sort of decide what day it would be per month. And then people would do what's called flash raids, where you surprise them. And this is more like relentless, low-level, constant protest.
Right. And so what makes you say they're so upset now?
Because it's constant.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So one thing I want to know, do you ever wish that Odo would have left and you guys could have talked? No?
If they kill him, I'll be happy.
Okay. Why is that? What's the deal with Odo?
They had me arrested.
Right. Okay.
My blood pressure would soar. I could have, died in jail, which is just what the cult wants.
Of course.
Me getting hurt at the hands of someone else that they set up, whereas they can keep their hands clean. No, I hate them all.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So what made you get into this? Did you have actual Scientology experience before?
No, I've never had any Scientology experience, but I saw all the 60-minute stories and the Time magazine cover story, and so that when Anonymous started protesting, I saw the first protest, and they hadn't all been shot by snipers, so I thought, I think I'm going to get involved, because when I got here, it took me years to get out of Ohio to get to here, and with all this excitement, I go to Hollywood Boulevard, and there's Scientology all over. I was like, ooh, that's creepy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until Anonymous started protesting that I felt safe enough to do it, in a group, of course.
Right. Well, that's like the same now when Streets LA started it, and when I saw that going on, it's like, oh, yeah. And isn't that a big factor now that people just aren't as afraid?
That's also very helpful. In 2008, we didn't know what to expect, and we were told, quite rightly, hide your hair. That's why I wear a Pope hat. Make your clothing baggy so they can't see if you're fat or thin or buff or skinny or whatever. And then they were even telling us there's this new thing called Bluetooth, and it's the way phones can talk to each other. Be sure if you have a new flip phone that has Bluetooth, turn it off, or they could find out who you are. We were so paranoid. We were afraid to throw drinking cups in the garbage can, like they would, get the fingerprints off them, like they did to the journalist. I can't think of her name, but they got
Paulette Cooper.
Paulette Cooper.
Right. Yep.
And then eventually you lose your fear, and they're all just a great big joke. And eventually they were doing just annoying things like trying to interrupt people's parties and stuff like that.
Right.
And after we got over our fear, it wasn't as bad. And since then, they've just been like an object of ridicule and disgust for so long.
Yeah.
A lot of people are less right.
So
they're still extremely dangerous, as all these people who are getting beaten up have found out.
Right.
Very sad.
Yeah, definitely. So you think it's more dangerous now than it was back
here? Here
it is.
In downtown Hollywood, definitely.
Right.
If you were to protest in Inglewood, the cops are not corrupt. If you protest in Hollywood, the cops are on their side, paid off or frightened or just puzzled and bamboozled.
And why do you think, isn't this like horrible PR for the LAPD?
Yeah,
to be
it's terrible.
seen.
I wish more people were talking about it because it's just ridiculous.
Right.
And Karen Bass, our mayor, in 2010, she gave a speech to Scientology where they paid her money to show up, along with the former sheriff, Libaka, who
Right.
both got paid money to speak. He said Scientology is ridiculous. But when she ran for, when Karen Bass ran successfully for mayor, her opponent had to bring that up because and she like panicked. But has she done anything since then? No. She made lip service to the people who complained about her privately, and she's not doing anything.
Right. Like if they really wanted to do something about this, it'd be one phone call, right? From the mayor to the LAPD.
I would think so, but I mean, she would have to say that the Wilcox station needs to be disbanded, and those cops need to be put someplace else, and the station house should be filled with cops from somewhere else that now have new rules. You can't go to the Celebrity Center and get oversized novelty checks and do all this outreach, which is really just an excuse to get paid off.
Totally.
But that still doesn't do anything about the church hiring off-duty cops for their events for security. What kind of a church needs that kind of security? I wonder. But that still gives them an opportunity to start paying off cops and needing new potential, cops to manipulate.
Right.
Okay, let's stop it just for a second. I agree with his information. Good morning, Swedish. Good morning, Amy. Yeah, Amy, I agree with you that it's not so constant as it was at the last spring. Yep, LAPD is on blast, and all of the reverse safe pointing that's happening, I think behind the scenes is 1,000 times more in LA area. Now, when it used to be in the Florida area, and we need to get back to that, as I keep harping on that, but it's so cockroach infested that it's going to take more than just trying to take out safe pointed cockroaches in the Florida area. We need to spray the whole can of Raid. We need to do flyby industrial size flyover bug spray. That's what we need for Florida. And that's going to be a little bit more effort. Okay, let's listen to a little bit more.
Totally. So, they got you. So now you can't go within like 100 yards of Scientology buildings or something. Is that what it is?
Yeah, for another 10 months.
10 months. Okay. And then you plan to be back out or what?
I was at the Shrine Auditorium in December.
I saw that. Yeah.
So, yeah, there's different places I can go. I'm not going to mention many of them.
No.
But for instance, at Sunset in Vermont, the Body Routers are always there, and that's a great place to see them. And when you go and protest there, they tend to eventually run away to Big Blue, and then the guards come out, interact with the guards. But it frees up the people walking in that intersection to not be bothered for once. I mean, the folks who work.
They're not out there very much now.
Really?
I saw them one time, and as soon as I pulled out my camera and the gimbal, they started walking back to Big Blue instantly, and I followed them back, heckling them just like you would, all the way home.
The guards show up? Or?
I don't even know if the guards really aren't very present. They're far away usually. They don't come up in your face anymore.
That is a problem, and we're sort of like Ronald Reagan after communism. Well, what now?
Right.
And
yeah.
It's a good problem to have.
It's great, but yeah, it definitely reduces the amount of good footage you get out there. Yeah.
And Leah Remini just tweeted that because they put up a billboard, the Scientology protesters put up a billboard helping people leave, the Big Blue was just shut down for days.
And they took it down already.
Yes.
Yeah.
They pressure billboard companies and stuff like that to get what they want, and they'll say things. They'll just throw huge amounts of money at a billboard company, like if you don't put up that anti-billboard, we'll buy that billboard for a year. Yeah,
right. Totally. I think it was already bought for a year for that sign, actually. Yeah.
For a year, yeah. I don't know what they were. I don't know how they can pressure Clear Channel, the billboard owner.
Yeah, you would think Clear Channel couldn't be messed with that easily.
It's a huge company, and they have lawyers, and there's
it's almost as evil as Scientology.
Let's not get up to the monopolies in America, but you would think that Clear Channel didn't do anything illegal. So any lawsuit that they might have, and they probably would not have one, would be thrown out. And
totally.
People are afraid Scientology will sue them. Scientology hasn't sued anybody in forever. They get really bad publicity for doing it. And there's not a jury in America that would agree with Scientology because its reputation is so radioactive.
Totally. So from your perspective, just seeing, I mean, we all know that the numbers are dropping for Scientology, but like the way you look at it, like what are the outward signs that anybody can go look? And just see that they obviously, like you say, they don't even have enough people to send out there to harass protesters.
Well, they have always paid off thugs. What happens is one of their evil lawyers, like Kendrick Moxon, has to pay off a sleazy private eye, who pays off a sleazy private eye, who pays off the kind of thugs that beat up Aaron Smith-Levin and other people, pretending to be random pedestrians offended or robbers robbing,
right,
kind of thing.
So that's always gone on. Yeah,
that's always gone on. But now,
hold on, let me look. 7 months ago. So this year.
Especially, they've always been shrinking slowly over time, and I've seen it in people's faces that a small number of Scientologists, like 15 years ago, used to be giggling at protesters because we looked silly or whatever.
Right.
There's none of that anymore.
No.
They all look like they do not want to be there.
Totally.
And then the numbers go down, and they have to recruit from foreign countries where they take people's passports away. And these people aren't really tied in the wool Scientologists.
No.
They just can't leave.
No, they just wanted to get a U.S. visa or whatever.
Live in glamorous Florida or Hollywood, California.
Right. Sounds great when you're in the Ukraine.
Yeah, or Siberia. Or
Yeah.
Literally Siberia.
Literally,
And,
yeah.
So their numbers were slowly going down, and it would be harder and harder to find people who were out to just talk with them. And then COVID came along, and they didn't take it seriously. They got very sick. I heard that they own or they rent apartments in apartment buildings around Big Blue, and they would take all of their sick Scientologists with COVID and put them in these apartments, ready to infect the whole innocent building. And I'm told the Scientologists would be sitting out there on their porches out there, their balconies, like chain smoking while they had COVID. But COVID decimated their ranks, and like now the HGB building is like, it was open less and less and less, and now it's like a fortress. No one goes in or out except apparently to get on the buses.
Right.
So when protesters were like sticking it to the buses quite regularly, that's the only time that you could see them going in and out. That's just like one example. There's a lot fewer people out on the street in Big Blue.
There's none, basically.
Really?
None. Like what is it, AOLA building on the corner of Fountain there?
Yeah.
They shuttle them to the hotel right across Fountain in a van. They don't even let them walk from AOLA across the street. They have to go into the parking lot, go under a tent, then they get into a van on the other side where you can't see them, all tinted, and then they just drive like 50 yards, and they go into the parking garage and let them out there, so you can't even see them going into the hotel.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I went there 2 months ago, there would be Scientologist, Sea Org people crossing the street, crossing L. Ron Hubbard. Now there's nothing. There's literally every now and then maybe a guard on a bike, or a couple people maybe walk by, like literally 3 times a day. You know, it's like nothing. They must be using the tunnels or
Yes,
something.
they have tunnels under L. Ron Hubbard Way.
Yeah.
They wanted to put a tunnel out by the Hollywood Tea building, but the city wouldn't let them. Excuse me. So they don't have a tunnel there, but that's one way they can hide. So sometimes you just have to guess how many people are there, because I don't see them entering on buses.
Right.
I'm not there at 8 in the morning.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd probably have to be there super early. So how did they get you? How did they get you with the restraining or the arrest? I'm trying to get, like, you know, cautionary stuff that maybe...
Did you see my video I recently put up called Scientology Tells Judge I'm a Sex Offender?
I think I did, yeah. But
it's got a lot of documents in it.
Okay. What would be the main, just, Cliff Notes version of what not to do?
What do you mean?
For us, what not to do to get, arrested or...
Well, they'll have you arrested over nothing, as
Right.
people have already
So,
discovered.
yeah, exactly. Nothing you can do about that.
And then
yeah.
you get chewed up by the system, and they hope that you'll be in jail for a while. You might have to pay expensive bail. You might get a skin disease. You might get beaten up in jail or something like that. But people have to remember things like you can't drive your car to Scientology and then get out and walk around. It's just dumb. And some of these live streamers live stream with their knee in their car or whatever. I guess they're making dishwashing television that people never log off of it when it's streaming or something.
Right.
They're not like sitting there watching. They're like listening while they do the dishes or something. But if you think you can, like, I'll just park my car here and live stream in it, but you're going to get nails in your tires.
Yeah.
And the one guy that got hit on the head and lost a tooth, he's walking to his car. That is so naive. There's a crazy person over there. Okay, he's gone. He's in the garbage. Okay, so where was it?
So there's not much you can do about them just doing some false arrest, or
it's best not to. I can protest alone, but I'm a big guy and I know what I'm doing.
Right.
But it's generally you should protest with someone else. So if you do get arrested or something like that, they can call a lawyer or know. Like, when I was arrested with this bench warrant in September of 2023, they just whisked me off. My lawyer didn't even know. I got out on my own. But it's a living hell to get a call out. When you're arrested. If you do get arrested, if you're arrested in LA City, you'll go to the LA City jail, which is smaller and has less of a medical staff. And if you're arrested in the county, like here in West Hollywood, which is the city of West Hollywood, controlled by the deputies, then you go to the Twin Towers jail downtown, which is pretty much the largest sanitarium drug treatment center, homeless shelter in America. I'm told from their website it's the largest jail in the world. Wow. So when you get to one of these places, it's best to be at Twin Towers because it's just a better, larger facility, and they take your clothing and they lock it up so you're not getting germs and god awful stuff. I mean, penicillin-resistant streptococcus aureus is a horrible skin disease that is incurable. It rots you. In the city jail, you're sitting in your crummy clothes for the average stay is 7 to 10 days.
Right.
So if you get arrested, then you get a little PIN number that you're supposed to be allowed, and you're legally allowed to get a call out within 3 hours or something. It can take days. The system is so broken.
And nobody knows phone numbers in their head anymore anyway, right?
You have to write your lawyer's phone number on your arm if you want.
Here, I'm going to pause it just for a second. Amy, what are you not agreeing with? I agree with you, but I'm just really curious. Let's discuss. What are you thinking? I think he is viewing the protesting. It definitely has been a strange one. After this, I'll go back to see if I can find his video of where he was arrested. But Amy, the reason why I'm asking you is because I want to ask you about something else, which this leads into that. Because I have a concern for what's going on right now with DOA. And it's a heartfelt concern. It's not a bad concern. But it's definitely a heartfelt concern that I think he's in danger. And again, we don't agree on a lot. We don't agree on everything. But what I do agree on is that he needs to stay safe. And kept safe, not just they need to protect him. Because he's is annoying. Right, yeah, okay. Well, I don't know that he's been around a long time, but he's been around since the last wave of protesting. Yeah, well, there should be some fear. I mean, if you're not afraid, you're stupid. If you don't have caution, you're stupid because you're not looking, you don't have your head on a swivel. And that's what I say, but I think he's like, oh, let's all make sure we have our face covered. But that was from back during the anonymous days. No, it was not Granberry. It was a different lawyer. It wasn't Granberry though. I've talked to Granberry. Personally, I've talked to Granberry and then we've emailed a little bit. And Granberry went through some fair gaming like nobody's business. Yeah, and Amy, the reason why, because I know you and Kathy, I see you guys in the chat all the time, and as I said, we don't always agree with what DOA does or how he does it. I think he is evolving, and I think he is growing up, especially when you put his love for Lara in there. It's kind of making him change a little bit. But this is my personal opinion, and I don't know if Osa's watching or whatever. I don't think they even know about me, except for I think I saw them on here the other day. But I think they have set up information in the background and they have manufactured data and manufactured evidence against Scotty for that swatting stuff. That's my opinion. Yeah, oh good. I'm glad Ashley was with them all day. But I think they're setting him up. They meaning Scientology and LAPD. Good morning, Rachel. And I don't know why I feel that way, except for the fact that that little Gomez, Janet, tete-a-tete going on, the special feels and everything they've done in the past with the interfaith group. It's too close for comfort. And I believe they have manufactured evidence and spoon-fed it to LAPD. And I'm not trying to be fearful. I'm just trying to be Oh, okay. Good morning, KA. Yeah, in a lying way. Marquita Darby, good morning. Yeah, I think they're doing behind the scenes. No, I haven't seen it, but we can look it up. Okay, but if he had a warrant out, and I haven't seen the video, but if he had a warrant out or if there was any sexual nature to anything that he had in the past that was true, then the school should have known. DOA, it said he was working on the DOT document, trying to connect the DOT document, and basically looking at who got called, what city attorney was part of what case, what LAPD, whether it was Northeast or Hollywood or whatever. I agree. And he tries to say he's not going to have any fear and he's just going to continue on. But having a healthy fear of something is good. I mean, analogy. If I'm not afraid of getting hit by a bus, and so I just constantly walk out in the middle of the street, well, eventually, statistics are I'm probably going to get hit by something. And just because you're not afraid of getting hit by a bus doesn't mean you shouldn't have healthy fear to not stand in the frickin' middle of the road when the bus is coming. I mean, just that's healthy fear. No, I didn't. Is that a new one? Swedish? Did she put up a new one? Yeah, exactly right. Healthy fear is your common gut sense saying, don't stand in the middle of the road when the bus is coming. Get off the road. Here, I'm going to finish watching this a little bit, and then...
The police will let you check your cell phone, and they'll like unlock it and say, okay, who should I look up? Okay, and then they write the number down.
Okay.
But, the phone system for calling out is run by this like a scammy company in Texas that exploits people who are in a bad way, and it's the pins never work right.
Yeah.
The system's down a lot, and you know, this is like a life or death thing. You want to get out of there, and it's like the system is like we're in no rush to do anything. And so even when you do get a call out, my lawyer will get like it's a collect call from Texas.
Oh,
and
God.
who would answer that 10
yeah.
years ago? Much less now when people are spammed with spam phone calls
Exactly.
over and over again. So like unless you can get out on your own devices, and
I guess lawyers know the deal. Like they see a collect call from Texas, they're like,
and also a bail bondsman. They
know the deal. Yeah. Right. And so the basis for getting what do you call it? I always forget the order where you can't go, the order of protection or the restraining order.
TRO.
That is so basically, from my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, they have to arrest you first basically to be able to try to get a restraining order.
No.
They have to have some basis, though. Like,
No, they don't.
they just say, "I feel scared of
Well,
you,"
no,
or
the legal basis is you can get a restraining order against someone, but like they have to have bothered you 3 times in like a close period of time, and like in person. And like in 2008, they temporarily had 2 TROs against me. Ex parte, that means it's in a hurry. Front loads the court with a lot of extra work.
Right.
And the judge said that he gave them 1 restraining order just to cut the baby in half, meaning you make both sides a little happy and a little unhappy.
Yeah.
And the restraining order, they had just video of me talking to a woman on the street, video of me standing near a guard, and like that's not 3 times harassing anyone. So the judge mocked them both and threw 1 away specially.
Okay.
But it didn't matter that I was still blocked from protesting for like 2 months while the court slowly chew on this kind of stuff. So no, you don't have to be arrested to have a TRO slapped on you.
Okay.
Temporarily until the judge deals with it. But the church knows that the society's collapsing, the criminal justice system is screwed, and it's going to take forever to do anything.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Let me look through here. So what do you think Scientology's next move is?
I don't know. They pulled some wild stunts with me in this past arrest where they took people who had a similar name and birth date that were felons and put all of their records onto my rap sheets. That's why my latest video is called Scientology Tells LA Judge I'm a Sex Offender.
Right, yeah.
You can predict what they're going to do, just like you can predict Donald Trump's going to say something stupid, but you don't know what that stupid thing is.
Right, totally. I hear you. Yeah.
And they're somewhat hamstrung in that they don't have as many true believers to work for free anymore. So the thugs and the sleazy lawyers, their hearts aren't in it as much.
Right. So using their homophobia against them.
And AIDS phobia as well.
Oh, okay, right.
They believe silly things like you can, get infected with AIDS from coughs or someone looking at your cross-eyed or whatever.
Right. So that's a cool. I mean, I've kind of used it a little bit, even as a straight dude, because talking about who's cute or this or that, or I find it.
The body routers are almost always quite attractive.
Right.
And
exactly.
The bike guards are usually also quite attractive. They can be the children of rich families.
Right. And so it really does freak them out, huh?
Yes, especially since there's an undercurrent of homosexuality in it anyway, because they make their Sea Org people live in sex-segregated living conditions. Yeah.
And it has a Navy theme, so it's like that is,
Well, it's windy. I hope you don't get too much.
Yeah, hopefully not. We'll see. Whatever.
The slightest breeze messes everything.
It can, yeah.
Do you want to push stop and record a new video because you're going to have to edit an enormously long thing?
Yeah, that's true. I could do that.
Okay, I'm going to stop that because they're just chit-chat now. There are so many tentacles. It's going to be a long process, but all y'all are taking steps, and I have much respect. Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, Audit and I always talk about the micro-macro, is that you have to work on it from both levels. The macro level, which is the FBI, IRS, federal Congress, the upper levels, all these upper areas where the tentacles are. And the micro levels, the neighborhood councils, the local, the city. The protesters do need to go to the CPAB meetings, but the CPAB meetings have been, Audit's been watching them because she's trying to, they're more of a secretive thing. They don't have to put out public notices. And they don't put out public notices, even though they're public meetings. It's like where they gave Scotty hell when he walked in with the camera the other day. They don't have a public comment, so they don't fall under the same Brown Act laws as the other meetings. It's more of like an association meeting rather than a city meeting. So she's been trying to find where the safe pointing has been, and this is the one that they went to the other night is one of the areas. And there are people on the other ones, she's just trying to find them out. But yeah, Lara and Serge need to go to the next one, that's for sure. But the reason we couldn't say that they were going to that meeting the other night is they didn't want Janet to find out ahead of time and not go. They wanted her there. So we all had to be hush-hush secret about it. So I think they have manufactured, just like those emails that you were talking about. Swedish, those are the ones that Audit CPRA'd, FOIA'd for the rest of the world, and found the communication that Janet's been feeding to the LAPD and the city attorney, saying that the protesters were big and bad and scary. Yeah, and not necessarily like saying, oh, that protester hurt somebody else. I don't even think that was a Scientology protester. That was somebody else that punched somebody. But they're weaving it all in to where it looks like the protesters are religious hate and harmful and dangerous. And that's what they've done on the backside on Scotty, is they have, look how many times we've had to swat him because he was this dangerous guy. Look, we thought he had guns this many times. You know, one of these times it's just got to be true. They're just going to find something. And they're feeding them information. And because they've had this relationship for so long, of course they must be true. They trust each other. And it's under false pretenses. But that's where we need to start hacking off those tentacles of what they have sucking on the LAPD and the city. And the state, for that matter. Yeah, she was definitely pissed off. I want to go back to... I would love to find that video that I watched. You know, we talked the other day about
Chief Graham is here. Oh, Chief Graham's here. He's so safe pointed. He used to be right? No, he used to be really nice. No, I always like, but he's so safe pointed by Scientology now. He does our bidding. He's had more of those stripes, isn't he? Yeah, he does it, but they safe pointed him way back when he was captain. I always liked him. I mean, he was a likable guy. I still like him as a person, I'm sure, but he gives them too much.
Yeah, they canceled. Let me stop this. They canceled this week's LAPD commission meeting, if nobody saw it. So Public Works got canceled for Wednesday. We don't know about Friday. LAPD commission got canceled for Tuesday morning. Which meeting is that, Style Audit? Which meeting did you miss? Yeah, sometimes if it's not talked about, especially when they're not supposed to be filming. So, but this week, yeah, I agree. So this week in LA, there are a couple of meetings that are really important. One is exactly Swedish. That's exactly what's happening. There is the, and I'll put it on my community page, the city council, which I like to watch, but I don't even bother calling in because it's such a waste. I mean, it's good that Audit's there. in public eye and stuff like that. So that meeting, there is a public safety committee meeting for LA City Council. There is an ethics committee meeting, the ethics commission. That is hugely important. I know several of us have put in ethics commission complaints. And the ethics commission is against, they are the commission that makes sure that everybody's ethics in their politicking and in the way they run business in the city is. Good morning, Adrian. That's an important one. I know Audit already has it on hers, but I'll put it on mine too. And then there's the civil rights meeting on Friday. Now in Chicago, there is a police and fire meeting, public safety meeting, one of those, on Wednesday. Good morning, Power Lies to Paralyze. Yeah, I don't know if that would make it work or not, Amy. I just kind of get the ZDT feeling, like when he spam calls everybody. I don't know. It is Swedish, but it's really only 1 or 2 a day. Besides the work that I have to get done this week too. So there's a couple of Chicago meetings too. And then Wednesday we have the 30th. We have Henry's case. We have Nancy Drew's case. Good morning, Adrian. There has been more swatting. Not as much though. It was like a week or so ago when Scotty got back. I don't remember seeing it. And then who else has a court date this week? Selfless? There's somebody else too. So quite a bit. I just have the feeling that, and I hope I'm wrong. Absolutely hope I'm wrong. Did you guys see the jury came back with the 2 cases we were watching? Amy, did you see that? I'm going to go back to. Huh. Any of you ever watched this guy?
Okay, hello everybody. This video is going to be about protesting Scientology, the history of. I watch, not a lot, because there's hours and hours of these videos of current auditors / protesters out there. And it seems to me there's not a lot of knowledge of the history of protesting Scientology. At least that's my perspective. And I looked around. Well, maybe it isn't one of the major ones, but we did it a lot. Just kind of random though, whenever we felt like going out. And there weren't all that many of us. Sometimes there's up to 10 of us, I think, at the most. But there's also videos about that, which I'll connect to here.
This, I'll post it here just a second, Adrian. But this is the protest that I was talking about, that he's talking about, that I've been trying to find the video for. So look at how crazy this is.
So at least McPherson Trust.
Here's his YouTube. Here's that video. Yeah, isn't that nuts that all of those people were sent out? Yeah, this was a long time ago. This is definitely a long time ago, but it's crazy. Good morning, sis. It's crazy how they're getting into their face, and I'm wondering what would happen nowadays if the protest were to look like that, or if they started working. I'm gonna go back and what was the name of that video?
Here.
Oh, here it is. Mad Picket. So they're screaming, SP go home. Hi, Irish Mart. Australia is saying hello to you, sis. Yeah, so look at all the people that they sent out to harass the protesters, and they were bull baiting them pretty bad. Sis, we need to go to Australia. We can go to Swedish's house. I don't know. I don't know if, I mean, besides the fact that they don't have that many people, but I don't know. Sometime, because you know darn well that if people are out on the street, especially like at Blue, that they're let out there. Yeah, that one lady is just absolutely whack job crazy. So what I get a feeling of is that they're being sent out one by one to harass the protesters and to just try and pick them off. Ooh, my heating pad is hot. Yes. Irish Mart. That's what Sis and I want to come to Ireland. That's her first place that she wants to go. Next year. Yeah. I know, but here's your opportunity to start meeting some Irish people there, Jet Mechanic Girl. We have quite a few Irish people in here. Ireland people. I don't know, Amy, except for start to compile substantial evidence of where he's been, that he has not been doing what they're saying. Starting to compile that. Starting to compile. I'm ready to partay in my pajamas. Oh no, Molly Moon. Uh-oh, Molly Moon, it's so cold and wet today. Yeah, it's that way kind of here too. It's not raining yet, but it looks like it's gonna be. It's definitely cloudy. It's a fall day, that's for sure. That was Style Audit. That was DOA had one, because he's the only one that videoed. But I don't know if it was on the lore of DOA. Good morning, me and Taz. Let me find it for you. Was it the lore of DOA? Or was it just DOA? One of was, and then they took it down, but then he put it back up. Nope, it must have been DOA.
goes to females that are exercising around the reservoir.
What time?
It's throughout the whole.
There's Janet. Sis, yep, John Travolta is still in the cult. And rumors is that he stays in the cult because he doesn't want to be disconnected from his children. But yeah, he is. I missed a little bit of chat while I was looking for that. I'm trying to remember that guy's name. I agree. Their stories are horrific. Yeah, and she has one of those little clip-on ponytails in the back of her head too. But she's high Osa. She's like Mike Rinder's replacement. David Miscavige's right-hand woman. The guy that was the funder for the Lisa McPherson Trust, and then he moved over to Ireland. He ended up passing away. I'm trying to remember what his name was too. It's not Bunker, because Bunker's still alive. I'm going to have to look it up on XenuNet. Bob Minton, yes, thank you. It's so nice having all these brains being able to work together. That's what happens when we start to get old, is we start to forget things. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, and he funded a lot of that. So that was Janet from, in which there's somebody on here that their name is Janet from Another Planet. So I always feel bad because Audit calls her Janet from Another Planet, but it's not the same person. So I'm going to play this.
Okay, there's no specific time.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We do have some public safety flyers out there for the community, and I can share some of those with you at the end of our meeting. As far as our burglaries, they're still being investigated. We're still waiting for DNA, things like that, prints that do take. Detectives are still constantly working with that, providing information. We've done foot feeds.
What can we do? Now I have the number of people that live in Eagle Rock, block from the RV. It's a Filipino family, and they're all related.
So the guy that was sitting next to her here before, that is Colton Carlisle, and he is of one of the neighborhood councils. He got up and left, but he was sitting next to her and talking to her all warm and fuzzy. And then behind her is Gomez, and I can't remember what his name is, but Gomez is the one that Scotty went and met with and was Yeah. So that is Gomez, and DOA calls her out in this meeting. Sis, okay, so Scientology, their religious belief, their first religious belief is that the end goal needs to be that they need to clear the planet. So clearing the planet means clearing each person's reactive mind so that way they can be clear in their mind, so that way they can go to a different planet. It's so fudged up, it's not funny. And that saves the planet, because this is a prison planet. And everybody was sent here because of their wrongdoings on another planet, so they were shot here into volcanoes. So they need to clear the planet, so that way it rescues everybody on the planet. And they truly feel that they are superior beings. The second part of their religious doctrine is to clear the planet of psychiatry. So anything to do with mental health, they are against, because their way is the only way to fix people of their mental issues. And psychiatrists are trying to kill everybody in psychiatric drugs, and they're all trying to provide lobotomies for people. I'll send you a paper that I wrote. Yep, and leave all of us poor humans behind to rot. Yep. So that's their end game. And so they truly, in their indoctrined and groomed belief, feel that anybody that's not a Scientologist is not cleared Thanks, Power Lies. Power Lies says Prison Planet is an old Gnostic lore, but it's universal, not just the planet. Yep, they say there's no blood test for depression. Sis, I want you to look up Amy McPherson. And what's the other lady's name? Mills. What's her name? Amy McPherson and Lisa McPherson. Yes, thank you. Sorry. And Whitney Mills. They are yeah, incredible deaths. Yes, Dianetics. So he wrote Dianetics, which was basically a self-help book, but he wasn't getting rich off from it, and nobody was really giving him the credit. So his quote was, well, if you want to get rich, start a religion. So he went ahead and started the religion to get everybody, so that way he had the benefits and the protection of a religious status. And that's Ellie Perkins. Oh my gosh, yes. Kyle Perkins, was that his name? And this is what I've been working with and demonstrating against and trying to expose, because they got all of their tentacles and all of their safe pointing into all of these city and federal governments with the money. And so they've normalized everything. And you hear these people that are now grown that I work with, like Serge and Serge. Look up, Lori, look up Serge Obolensky on my page. The new Serge Obolensky law that we proposed. Oh, Adrian, I'm sorry. Yeah, Lori, and this is worldwide. It's not just there in LA or in Florida, it's worldwide. Oregon is huge for it. So the school Delphi there in Sheridan is Scientology. It's a Scientology school. And so Oregon is really infested. And there's two people that I want you to look up in the Oregon area. Her name is Liz Gale. She has a channel. Her and her brother were third generation Scientologists. Her and her brother went to the Delphi schools. Brilliant, brilliant people. Her brother was so brilliant, he was one of the people that they hired after going to school. Right, I think he was still a teenager, into like the .com era. And rest in peace, Philip Gale. He ended up unaliving himself, throwing himself off a building. Yeah. But a lot of, Laura, I'm going to send you the paper that I wrote. It's disgusting. But what's even more disgusting is it's their doctrine. So their doctrine is really what's abusive. And they do things such as bull baiting to clear your reactive mind, is to make you non-reactive. So they do lessons and they do classes and they do courses and they do auditing sessions to make sure that no matter what they say to you, you don't react. So they use the most offensive, sexually explicit, and horrible things to children. Even children as young as 1 day old. They start working on kids to clear their reactive mind. Sis is very well informed on a lot of these cults, and I know she probably even told me about Scientology before, but it goes so much deeper than what we even thought. It's like, Serge calls it Epstein and P. Diddy on steroids. It is. And they normalize it to all the adults and all the parents. So the parents just hand over their kids. Like that's the way you're going to save the planet. Hand them right into the lion's den. Here you go. Right into the evil nest of vipers. Yeah. Pretty sad anyways. Adrian says, this was 1989 when my aunt was going to St. Helen, England. I only found out years later that she was in the cult, and it all made sense why she sadly had a lot of mental health issues after disconnection. So, Lori, there's been a lot of connection between L. Ron Hubbard, Jack Parsons, you know who that is, and who was the Aleister Crowley, and the Remnant Church, was it the Remnant Church? All sorts of connections of the satanic realm. It goes that deep. So when they talk about the war isn't against human flesh, it's against principalities, this is a great big example of that. Exactly, Swedish. Read what Swedish just wrote, Lori. So babies aren't really babies. They're just a being that's just been birthed into a new meat casing. That's what they believe. And it's not just Mona sitting here saying that. That's right out of their doctrine, right out of their policies. I've looked right into their policies. It's exactly what it says. Yeah, absolutely amazing. So it's okay in their mind that if a 6-year-old is showing suppressive person, anti-Scientology, or anything against David Miscavige or L. Ron Hubbard, to disconnect from them and throw them to the wolves. It's okay. In fact, it is normal. That's what they're supposed to do. It's encouraged. And you say, oh, they wouldn't disconnect from a 6-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 10-year-old. We have people in this community that they were disconnected. It's very vulgar and disgusting. So the Delphi Academy, I did a live the other night about it. There's a brand new lawsuit that was just filed the other day. And there was a guy that was a basketball coach. And he was arrested. He's in jail now in California. His name is Randolph Jackson. And he got 17 years for essaying boys at the school. Well, he previously was a Delphi basketball coach, teacher, and they knew about it. And instead of turning him into the authorities, they gave him a recommendation to ship him off to a different school. Now, the new school that he went to doesn't look like there's any affiliation to it, but they're looking for information and out of this lawsuit. And so I was talking with the private investigator, and so they're looking for Delphi information, but that's what they do. And let me read you, this is their policy. I had pulled it up the other day. Here it is. So this is their policy. This comes right out of their doctrine. So every time they go in for auditing, which is counseling in their terms, ethics handling, which is if you have a problem, or courses, this gets read to them every single time. This is part of their policy. And this is the prelude to any confessional. I am not auditing you. This is quote unquote. I am not auditing you. We are about to begin an HCO confessional. We are not moralists. We are able to change people. We are not here to condemn them. While we cannot guarantee you that matters revealed in this list will be held forever secret, we can promise you faithfully that no part of it nor any answer you make here will be given to the police or the state. No Scientologist will ever bear witness against you in court by reason of answers to this confessional. This confessional is exclusively for Scientology purposes. Here are some actual questions out of these confessionals. Have you committed a crime? How, when, where? Give details. Have you masturbated? Give details. Have you eaten a human body? Have you ever smothered a baby? Have you ever raped anybody? And this is part of what I give to the LAPD. Sadly, a child, because the confessional auditors sometimes are children asking adults, and sometimes adults asking children. Sadly, a child asking a grown-ass man must know what these words mean. They have to define, explain, and show what the words mean during their training. Remember, grown men are told every time their crimes will not be told to the police. And the grown man is locked in a room with just the two individuals, a man and a child, or a woman and a child. All sessions are written about, taped, and videoed, every single one of them. Evidence of these sessions are held forever in their folders. In LA, this is in the communication section of the Blue Building. PC folders are held forever on each person. Isn't that disgusting? Absolutely, Style Audit. I will put it in my, and that comes straight out of the HCO policies. Amy, I did a video on that, but the call went incredibly excellent. Absolutely. I will give you copies. Good morning, Kirby's mom, and that's okay. Thank you for popping in. And out. Popping in and out. So, so when I was talking about the bull baiting, when I'm talking about them, the children having to clear their reactive mind. A portion of what they have to do is they have to be able to do this in their training. They have to be able to audit the adults. And so when an adult tells them about masturbation, they can't be reactive. They can't have any effect. They can't have any emotion to it. So in their training for this, they get, yes, that's the 37-minute video. Yep, and the investigator was on that video. She was in chat. Her name is Kendra, and I have contact information for her on that video in the description. So they get the most vile, disgusting things. There's a video that Serge and Aaron do talking about exact questions. And these aren't the worst, because you can't put the worst on YouTube or on video, or it gets taken down. They say disgusting things to these children. Yep, okay, so let's talk about the Purif. They go into the saunas with adult men and women in just a bathing suit or trunks, and they are locked in there for hours. So a Purif is what they consider purifying the toxins out of the body. And so they give them thousands and thousands of milligrams of niacin and other crap that they put into their body to clear out all the toxins and then they put them in the sauna to sweat them out, and they make them like exercise for hours a day because it sweats out the impurities out of the body. Now these impurities, these are children, to get the drugs out of their system, either psychiatric or street drugs or whatever, all the impurities out of their body, not only of this lifetime, but of their past lifetimes. So that's how children can have all these impurities and toxins in their body, because it may not be this lifetime that they're getting purified. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And they're locked in there with adults, and so things do happen. Yeah, and it's a incredible, gross, negligent amount, harmful, poisonous amount. So they don't, when you're on the bridge to total freedom and you start taking their operating thetan, their OT classes, which you pay for all of this. This isn't free stuff. Good morning, Corn Freak. You don't hear about the Xenu and the space aliens until you're OT3. Pretty crazy. Anyways, yeah, it's all a get rich quick MLM. Let's buy lots of money and lots of power and lots of on everybody's, yeah. And if you can't afford the classes, then you can work for Scientology. Good morning, Cricket. It is. It is depressing. But it's kind of honoring and feeling good that we are making strides. That picture is of Janet from OSA. Actually, she calls herself a minister. Janet is sitting in the white chair, and behind her is Detective Gomez. And I can't remember what the gentleman's name is, the officer's name is. You're right, the money scamming is one thing. I mean, they're all kind of like an MLM money scam, but the abuse is truly disgusting. And it goes right in front of everybody, behind the walls, behind the scenes. Oh, Eric is probably waking up right now. We're waiting to go on a ride to the beach with Eric. Everybody getting their floaties? She's listed as a minister, Adrian. She's a minister in the church. They're all listed as volunteer ministers, though. That's how they keep their scam going, and that's how they pay them $47 a week, is because it's a stipend to the volunteer minister, not a paycheck. So they can work 100+ hours a week for $47 because it's legal for the Internal Revenue Service under ministers, under the religious exception to labor laws. So she's doing all of this, and she does have Xenu eyes, for $47 a week. Oh, did he? Let me go look for that. Oh, of course it does. I want to leave these other tabs open, though, because I want to go back to them. Do I have him on? MD Media 18. In his community tab? Nope. Alive. Oh, that is gorgeous. Oh, look at that. We'll leave it on his sunrise. Thanks for the heads up for that. Yep, Janet Wieland. So, Sifs, if you're still on, I'm going to have to work while I'm going to the beach today because I have to play catch up. There is a gentleman who is a ex-Scientologist, and his name on here is called Eric Rader, BS Incinerator. I'm going to stay on here. I'm going to look him up real quick so I can put his link in here, and then we'll go back to the sunrise. Eric Rader. But on Sunday mornings, because he's in the LA area, he goes riding with Rader, and we listen to some really good tunes. And we go to Malibu Beach, and he sits his camera down and he streams from the beach, and we get to watch dolphins, and it's a great, yeah, he does have the best tunes. I'm still trying to figure out how he gets his tunes without getting copyright. And so we watch, and then usually Nice Lady stops by. We never get to see Nice Lady's face, but she's a really nice lady and just likes to go and talk with them and chat with them. And last couple of weeks we've watched, as I said, we watched dolphins out in the water, and we watch swimmers and just go to the beach. And there's a couple of people that can't swim, so we make sure they have floaties on. It's just a little channel that we all kind of get together and we can chat on Sunday mornings and go to the beach together. And he starts at 8 o'clock your time. But Eric was in Scientology. His whole family was in Scientology. And he escaped, kind of, but kind of stayed in, didn't get anti-Scientology because he loved his mom and dad and his sister, and so wanted to stay connected with them. So he kind of just stayed on the outskirts. But then his mom and dad and sister all died in the last year or so. And he happened to hear that there was some protests down at the Blue Building. So he went down there with his camera one day, and he just wanted to meet to see what was going on because he didn't know other people. And so they all kind of just took him into the fold, took him into the family. And now he has a place to process all of the abuse that he had all those years. So it's been kind of cool to see Eric have a new family, because now his whole family is deceased. And you would say, yeah, his mom died of cancer, his sister died of cancer, I believe, his dad died of something else, but it was because in Scientology you don't go and get your mammograms, you don't go and get your health care that you need. Psychological, you don't get it. And so via negligence, that's what they died of. Scientology killed his family. Yep, he is a kind soul. Yep, so he's only really come out of Scientology since, well, in the open, even though he was before. But as I said, he stayed in because of his family being in. But now that his family is gone, so Eric and I have just become really good friends. Yeah, Selfless is a good guy. him and Pearl Snappy have, as I said, they have their own, well, we all have our own unique qualities, don't we? But I hope everything goes well for him on his lawsuit also. Oh. Yep, definitely. Yeah, it did. You're right, Amy. It did make two couples. I'm sure there's other hankering going on. In fact, I'm gonna ask him because that would be kind of fun to. Well, nah, we'll just go on his. So is Lara taming Scotty or is Scotty taming Lara? That's the question. Yeah, I agree with you, Cornfreak. There's different because people hear things differently. $2D flow real time. I don't know. So is Selfless taming Pearl Snappy or is Pearl Snappy taming Selfless? Let's dig up some dirt. Right? So if we're going to have scuttlebutt, this is the best type of scuttlebutt because it is love in action. No, and I think she's a hard nut on the outside, but on the inside, I think on the inside, there's a tamed gal wanting to get out. Much love to you too, sis. I will call you later. I'm gonna have to hang up on this here pretty quick because I'm gonna need to. I'll listen to Eric writing with Raider for a little bit while I'm working, but I gotta work a little bit today. I love you too, sis. See y'all, Swedish. Yep, I'm gonna go do Fluff and Buff and go get some, It does, but it also brings out old feelings of old rejection. So it's so hard. I'm sure it's hard for Lara to understand what true love really is. Yeah, I know. She used to make me jump too. Except for when you see the inspiration for what's happened, then you kind of understand. But okay, guys, if I don't go Fluff and Buff, I am not going to be ready for the beach. So we're up almost to 2 hours. I love you all. I've finished my coffee. I will see you in about 40 minutes. Loves ya, loves ya.